Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Office Lovers. We're on Sadayoshi Saijo's good ending, well, best ending. Apparently there's a good ending and a best ending, but it's 3:30 in the morning, but I got this far, so I can't help going through the ending since I'm here. So, screw sleep. I'm staying up. Let's see how this ends. You all can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. Best ending, Alluring Rouge. Some rouge to go along with my lipstick? Not long after Mr. Saijo returned to his old position, he went back to sales while I went back to marketing. Splitting up was difficult, even though it was work. I wanted to be with him even now. Guess it's back to normal life now. It wasn't like I thought my work was pointless, but relatively speaking, it was dull. Suddenly, I felt a tap on my shoulder. It was my coworker, Sasaki.
I heard you were making copies. Do you have one for me?
Yes, here you go.
Thanks. You know what? You've changed.
Changed? What do you mean?
Well, not just how you use makeup now, but I don't know, you seem cuter now. I don't mean it like that. It's just, you seemed so plain before. Now it's like you stand out a lot more.
I didn't feel any different, though. I wondered how to respond to him. It's because I'm in love. Thanks. To be honest, I didn't care what anyone thought of me anymore. Anyone except Mr. Saijo. But since I met a lot of people, it was better to look the part.
So, I have a question.
Yes?
Are you a thing with the sales manager?
What?
Excuse me, I have business with her.
Surprised by the sudden voice, I turned to see Mr. Saijo. Mr. Saijo, why are you here?
I just told you, I have business with you. It looks like I ruined your lovely conversation.
Mr. Saijo gave Sasaki a menacing glare. It's like he can sense when a guy's talking to me and he just shows up.
But this is important. I see. I have some work to do, so bye. They swarm like flies, these guys.
What? He was saying weird things again. He gestured with his hand to get up from my seat.
I really do have business with you. Are you able to leave?
Yeah. When he gave me a big smile, I thought something seemed fishy about it. I let him escort me out of the office. He led me out of the office, but I still had no idea where we were going. Mr. Saijo? We arrived at the meeting room. No one else was around. My heart started racing. This place had special significance for me. What is this urgent business?
I haven't got enough of you.
Huh? I stood in a stupor while he hugged me.
But that's only half the truth. The other half is actual work.
He rubbed his cheek against my neck. My skin tingled. It had been a while since his touch. Why aren't we seeing him outside of work now? What kind of work?
We've become a couple, and so far there haven't been any problems, right? Except for one. Well, you more than me still has a slight problem.
I knew exactly what he was talking about. That work relationships are forbidden.
Yeah, we don't know if that rule still applies since the project is over.
I wonder. He looked up into my eyes.
I don't want to hide the fact we're dating anymore.
Yeah.
I want to hear what you think.
Me too.
Yeah?
I don't want to hide it either. When he looked at me, I couldn't think straight. Ever since I knew him, even now. I'll do my job properly. I won't cause any trouble for anyone. I laid my head on his chest. He pulled me close, enveloping my body.
Thanks. I've always wanted to hear that from you.
Was I a bad employee?
No, not at all. You were never bad. I came bearing some good news. After hearing what you said, I think you'll appreciate it.
Huh? He pulled away from me. When I looked up at his face, he was beaming a smile. What was this news? I wondered what the good news was. I waited for him to tell me in anticipation.
I talked to Mr. Otori himself about the rule about work relationships.
Whoa! All the blood rushed out of my head, leaving me a little dizzy. What did you tell him?
Everything, of course.
Even about us?
Everything means everything.
No way! Mr. Saijo came to support me when I started swaying on my feet.
I wanted to be certain. That is, whether the rule applied or not.
Uh-huh.
It just doesn't feel right having a relationship that's deemed forbidden. Falling in love is just too precious a thing to ruin like that. Some people fall in love and get so overwhelmed that it gets in the way of work. We aren't like that, though. At work, we do our work. Love is kept separate. It's two distinct separate things.
Yeah. We didn't get so carried away in love that it caused problems for anyone. That was one thing I could be sure of. But I still couldn't believe he told that to the CEO. What else?
Yeah.
I told him that we haven't done anything wrong. He stared into my eyes and nodded.
I told him flat out that we were seeing each other.
Uh-huh.
He asked if I remembered what he said about relationships at work.
His answer was obvious.
I said yes, and he went off asking what I was thinking and such.
Yeah?
And finally...
I waited for him to finish, trying my best not to cover my ears not to hear it. I had to close my eyes.
Mr. Otori looked at me and laughed.
I slowly looked up at Mr. Saijo.
I understand. That's fine, is what he said.
His face was lit up with joy. An amazing smile greeted my eyes.
It seems like he knew about our little thing for a while now. He actually apologized to me. He'd only been joking when he said that.
I knew it! It sounded like a joke when he first said it, especially when he said, Dirili's not allowed to fall in love with anybody but me. So, I'm sure he originally intended for me to only date him, but since it wasn't his route...
He was sorry about all the trouble he caused. He also asked me to apologize to you, too.
I can't believe it! Am I dreaming?
I felt the same way, though I'm over it now. But it's real, no joke. He gave me his word. Isn't this great?
So excited I couldn't even speak. I jumped into his arms and buried my head in his chest. His arms wrapped around me and rubbed my back. We stayed like that until I calmed down a little bit. I'm sorry, I just got so excited.
Don't be. Seeing you all wild like that was so cute.
Was I that bad?
It'll be one of those good memories I lock away.
He plopped his hand down on my blushing head and stroked my hair.
There's just one more thing.
His face turned serious again.
This one concerns the future. It's a bit of a shocker.
All right, I'm listening.
The lipstick we made. It's going to be a continuing product.
Really?
It will be released again on special events and for certain seasons.
I can't believe it. I know. It's great news.
All our hard work really paid off. Though, I knew it would in the end.
I jumped on him again. He calmly pulled me into an embrace. His indifferent attitude always seemed so cool to me.
It's something you worked on. Of course it would sell like crazy.
For the next few minutes, he kept bragging about me and talked me up. Before I would be too embarrassed to listen, but now I could genuinely take it as a compliment. We stayed together like that all the way until lunch. A few days later, Mr. Saijo called me for a meeting. It was in the meeting room, I think. It didn't take long for our relationship to be known around the office. Since the CEO recognized us as a couple, we were teased and the target of some jealousy. Though I didn't mind as much if people saw us now, I still tried my best to keep us safe. Since being with him alone wasn't such a big secret now, I happily skipped into the meeting room. Hello, Mr. Saijo.
Hey, what's up? Why are you in such a good mood?
When I thought of being alone with you, I just got a little excited.
That's an awful cute thing to say. You know that this isn't a hotel, right?
Of course not. With a big smile, he spread out papers on the desk.
So that you don't forget this is work, I'll get right to it.
Okay.
Take a look at these.
It's just some sales info. Are you going there? That's a huge company.
It sure is. And I have a favor to ask.
I'll do anything for you.
Anything?
His eyes dropped down to my chest. I take it back. Not anything.
A wise decision. I prefer to remain a gentleman during work hours.
Do you really prefer that?
I'd like for you to come there with me.
But I'm in marketing, not sales.
This company is a leader. I'll need your expertise.
But...
It'll be fine.
He took my hand in his and stared into my eyes.
Your research skills were what caused the Christmas project to be so successful. I need your strength to get this company taking deals with us.
Is this...
Huh?
Maybe I just hadn't realized it until now. He was giving me the chance to work together with him once again. I'll do it.
What? That was a fast decision. I'm glad. Surprised, but glad. Thanks, it really helps.
I'm glad too. It'll be fun. Working with him again would be like a dream come true. I walked out of the room happier than ever. After it was decided that I would work together with Mr. Saijo, I got very busy. I lost count of how many times we'd met together in the meeting room.
By the way...
Yeah?
Hasn't this happened before? You write so much info on the sheet that it's too hard to understand.
Mr. Saijo tapped his finger on a piece of paper and laughed. It has. I remember being told the same thing 100 times. I'm sorry, I can't stop making the same mistake over and over.
No, that's not what I mean.
Huh?
I meant simpler.
He struggled to find the right words and put the pen in his mouth.
It's been a while since it was like this. You know, us two working together. This whole scene. It's hard to put into words. I don't know. I like it.
Was he all embarrassed? He turned away from me with a red face. A great feeling of joy surged through me. What's gotten into you?
Don't laugh, I'm serious.
Sorry, but I can't help it. You don't know but you like it?
I couldn't find a better way to say it.
He laughed and joked together for a while until Mr. Saijo looked at me.
Whoa, it's past lunch. How long have we been talking for?
No idea. We still need to talk about the contract and some others.
Yeah, alright. Let's get this done first. You know what?
What?
We've got this. Just like the lipstick, we can make it happen.
Speaking of which, I hadn't used the one he gave me, but I always kept it in my bag. Yeah, it was like a good luck charm to help keep bringing us success in everything we did. At least, that's how I imagined it. The day finally came to make our visit to the big company. We met up early in the office and headed to the city. We stopped at a cafe to do some final preparations and checks.
Any problems?
Nope.
You nervous?
The answer was obvious. I was clumsy and never any good at sales. Just a little. But I think I'll be fine.
You sure?
Yeah, you're here with me, so I'll be okay. I took a deep breath before gulping down on my tea. I felt a little more relaxed now. It's our first job together after a long time. I should try to enjoy it more.
You're a strong woman. Not surprised since you're my girl, though.
Mr. Saijo, say that sort of talk for when we're alone. He tried to hug me, but I stopped him in time.
Sorry, I lose sight of everything when I'm with you. To be honest, this sales talk should be a piece of cake. That is, compared to how hard it is to keep my hands off you.
He squeezed both my hands together. The warmth of his grasp was soothing to my heart. When I looked into his eyes, I was able to relax, and my nervousness faded away. He was giving me courage and strength.
If this goes well, I want you to do a favor for me.
Sure, what is it? Still holding my hands, he broke into a wide grin.
Come with me on a date.
We haven't been on a date yet? I'd rather go on a date no matter what happened, but was too embarrassed to say it. I'd love to.
Deal. Let's go.
When he stood up and turned his face, I couldn't help but think how handsome he was. I was proud to be able to say that he was my boyfriend. Not only because of his looks, but because he was kind, and I could rely on him for anything. Several hours later, it was all over.
And that's it, huh?
That's it. We walked out of the office and looked each other in the face.
What a huge success. I can't believe you bought those papers. You're a goddess.
You surprised me just as much. I can't believe how you answered all those questions. Despite being crowds of people around, we jumped into each other's arms.
I can tell it went well. I know the feeling when it does. It's all thanks to you.
All I did was help. It was your persuasion that did it for us.
If this keeps up, we'll never stop praising each other. Are you going to head back to work?
No, I was told I could go home after. He pat me on the shoulder.
That works out good. Now we can go on our date.
What? Now? Shouldn't we schedule it for another day?
Nope. I don't want to let you go home, especially on a day like today.
His suggestive words made my heart skip a beat. Come on, we're still in work clothes.
Who cares? No one from work is going to see us.
He picked up my hand and started to walk away. Just give me a minute. If I was going to walk around with him on a date, I had to look right, so I pulled out the lipstick he gave me as a present.
You carry it with you everywhere? That makes me so happy.
I never told you that?
This is the first I've heard of it. Coming in.
He suddenly pulled me towards him and stole a kiss, right in the middle of a crowd, too. Everyone started to stare at us. I started slapping his chest to make him stop. However, he just ignored me and kissed me even more wildly. He even pushed his tongue into my mouth, twisting it around in mine. His hand ran down my back toward my butt. My body was twisting in pleasure when he stopped. Yeah, come on, you can't go that far out here. What are you doing? He looked down at me and licked his lips with a devilish smile. His smile tickled a part of me deep down inside. I don't really want our first date to be a love hotel.
We'll stop here for now. Are you hungry?
In a playful gait, he walked ahead. I followed him with trembling legs.
From now on, it's our personal time.
Yeah. Mr. Saijo and I headed into a restaurant to get something to eat. I had a feeling he couldn't keep his eyes off my body, though.
That lipstick really looks good on you.
It was selected because of how well it matches a woman's skin.
That's not what I mean. The aroma suits you perfectly, too.
Don't say things like that here. My face got so hot that I could have probably fried an egg on it.
Sorry. I remembered how cute you were when you blushed and wanted to see it again.
I leaned across the table and whispered into his ear. Tell that to me when we're alone. I don't want other men to hear you say that.
You're right. It's not fair if they get to hear it for free.
A waiter brought our food to the table. What's wrong? While we were eating, Mr. Saijo stared at my mouth.
When your lips are all wet and shining, it looks like ripe fruit. It's so sexy, just wanting to be eaten. I couldn't help but stare.
Oh. I picked up a napkin and went to wipe my lips, but he stopped me.
No, leave it.
What? No.
Then let me do it.
Without giving me a moment to answer, his finger went to my lips. His finger glided over my bottom lip, grazing past my tongue and making me blink. That's enough! I pulled myself backward and left him staring closely at his finger. I had a feeling where this was going. Mr. Sai... He put his finger to his mouth and licked it. I was so embarrassed I had to look away. My entire body was burning up.
It's sweet. It tastes like you.
Too embarrassed to even speak, my only other option was to eat, so that's what I did. We had finished dinner, and I reapplied my lipstick before heading out into the night. I was walking alongside Mr. Saijo when he turned to look at me.
Are you full? Want to rest somewhere?
Huh? He looked at me puzzled as I blushed. Hearing him mention rest implied something else in my head.
You know I like it when you're all embarrassed. So, you don't have to try to hide it so much, okay?
He extended his hand out and pulled up my chin.
When I first met you, you were always thinking about work, no matter when. It was very irritating for me, because you would never think of me as anything but your boss. But now, if I say the slightest thing, you get all embarrassed and excited.
He kissed my lips with a smack. Aww.
And wet.
I felt so embarrassed. I wished I had a hole to crawl into. Stop it!
I can't. Ever since I put that lipstick on you, I've wanted you more and more. Let's go to a hotel. I want to make you mine again.
He whispered into my ear, sending a shiver down my spine.
Your lips keep tempting me. It's not my fault. I need you. I want you now.
His kisses pecked at my lips over and over. I couldn't think. My mind went blank.
I want you to say it.
He teased my body relentlessly. The only thing on my mind was him.
Who do your lips belong to?
Mr. Sai...
Whose are they?
They were for Mr. Saijo only. I tried to say it, but his kisses cut me off every time. When I think back, it was probably that moment when our love truly started. Our tender, sweet love.
I love you.
It started with his kiss so passionate that it melted my heart. That was his best ending, sequel and date scenario now available! Hooray! Okay, so next video will be his regular good ending, and then we'll do sequel and date scenario, and I have no idea how long any of that is, so if anything's short, we'll go ahead and add something else in. So stop by for my next video to see his regular good ending, if nothing else. Hope to see you there or in some of my other videos. And I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye bye, everybody.